So a leaked crime intelligence report has allegedly implicated members of the All Truck Drivers Forum and Allied SA and Operation Dudula for the recent spate of truck attacks. According to the City Press, on that leaked document, it alleges that the attackers want the removal of all foreign drivers as well as a 15% pay hike. Now, so far, a number of arrests have been made in relation to these attacks. Let's unpack this further, bring in the Deputy Police Commissioner for Crime Detection. That's Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, who joins us via our video link this morning. Sir, it's great to have you on the program. Thanks very much indeed for making time. I mean, we understand this is through a leaked report, so let me begin here. Are these reports accurate?
Not at all. Good morning to you, Ayanda, and good morning to the viewers. This is a leaked document that, in fact, is not even any way closer to the truth. We reject it with the contempt it deserves. There's no truth about it. We do know the people that are involved. We have arrested the people, and we know who is involved. So this leaked document is just misleading.
All right. So is the document itself, though, in existence? In other words, does the document exist?
As we speak, I haven't seen such a document. We do not have that document. I don't have it. But what I can tell you is that among the people that have been arrested, all of them, none of them belongs to even Dudula. It's just pure labor-related matters within the trucking industry, the employees within the trucking industry.
All right, because that was going to be my next question then. So if it's not necessarily Operation Dudula or this particular organization that's involved, what is your own investigation suggesting underpins the attacks themselves?
Our own investigation reveals that these are employees that works for the trucking industry that are not satisfied or that are not happy about the fact that their employers employ foreign nationals. Whenever they tried to negotiate for a better salary, and they get dismissed, and obviously the employers will rely on employing foreign nationals.
The police minister had mentioned that he still reckons it's an organized kind of syndicate. Is it under any kind of banner, or are you finding that it's disgruntled members of the sector who are banding together somewhat to carry out these attacks?
Well, it is organized in nature, obviously, because, it's two or more people, but we do have a number of employees that group themselves that are operating in different provinces. But they are well coordinated. They do discuss and they work together in doing this acts of sabotage.
Are you at liberty to tell us with which organization these employees belong? Or to which organization?
I wouldn't specifically say they belong to the All Trucks group of people that are working a union or what, but all I know is that they are all employed in this trucking industry, and they are all drivers of the trucks, and they are all communicating and working together in this business.
Sure. There had also been reports at the weekend that there's some kind of voice note making the rounds between these particular drivers. And in fact, it was the arrest of one individual who was caught in that video footage inside a truck that essentially led investigators to the other drivers themselves. In fact, these are the visuals that are on our screen right now. This individual, we understand, was arrested, and it was after taking in his phone that you were able to somewhat uncover the web of criminality. At least that's what the reports suggest. Is that accurate?
What happened is that, remember, our intelligence operatives are out there and working hard to make sure that we uncover these people. And as a result of that, we were able to know who's involved. Obviously, when we arrested him, he was the first one to be taken in, and we did come across a list of them who are actually in a particular WhatsApp group. But I may not necessarily know what is in that leaked document, but what we do know is the list of names that we have in our list that we are dealing with.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point of Intelligence Deputy Commissioner, of course, is to ensure that you're able to intercept these kind of actions at the planning stages, right, before they're actually carried out. What do you reckon it was about the information that you had that it disenabled you from being able to do that?
No. I must commend our intelligence structures. They did a very good job. Remember that it could have been worse, and hence you see that it only sporadic here and there, because you obviously cannot have each truck and assign a policeman to each truck. But safe to say that look at Joburg, look at Northwest, look at many other provinces. We did not have such because of the early warning systems that we received from the intelligence. So I can safely say to you that our intelligence, we do have a capable state, we do have a capable intelligence structure. And remember, it is not only crime intelligence, we also have state security on board. All the law enforcement agencies working together. We've covered the ground. And we are comfortable with. That is why even the past 3-4 days, we haven't heard of any truck touching again.
I hear that, Deputy Commissioner, but 21 trucks did go up in flames, and that didn't all happen at once. I mean, what you just said now may be cold consolation for the companies that are now counting the cost of these attacks.
Yeah, remember that we did receive early warnings, and the early warnings were sent to all the provinces, but to some, they did implement all the precautionary measures that could be implemented. But remember that even though we patrolled the highways and the byways, we were all over. At some point, you could not actually have a policeman against a truck. So wherever it happened, but we were able to, within a very short space of time, to contain the situation and to stabilize the environment.
As things stand, do you reckon this is now behind us?
This is behind us because we do know what we're looking for, and they all know that the moment they get arrested, it is over, because this is a serious offense and we are not going to leave any stone unturned, and the government is serious in attending to this type of criminality.
Yeah, I mean, and the government has said that before with respect. I mean, this conversation, perhaps many might say, may feel like a bit of deja vu. Issues around the torching of trucks because of labor disputes are certainly not new in the sector itself. And so I suppose my question is also a bit broader than that. When I say the issue itself is behind us, can we confidently say that we're not going to come across instances where trucks are sporadically going up in flames as a direct result of these kind of employment disputes? Because today you're able to arrest this batch of arsonists, let's call them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the issue that underpins the reason why people go out to torch trucks to begin with is sorted out.
If I say we will not have any, I will be really taking it too far, because obviously someone will want to prove a point. But we're also relying and dependent on all South Africans to report any act of criminality. Anyone who sees anyone doing this type of criminality, please do report it to the police and bring it to the attention of the authorities.
Okay. You know, we'd also spoken to several drivers who mentioned the complexity of how the actual hiring and firing takes place in the sector. In some instances, logistics companies actually do work in transnational ways. In other words, there are companies based, for argument's sake, in Zimbabwe, hiring drivers in Zimbabwe and bringing them, obviously, to South Africa to deliver whatever it is that they're transporting. In what ways does that complicate your ability to actually prevent this from essentially ending in trucks going up in flames? I mean, there are people who are foreign nationals, but who are legitimately hired in their own country, but happen to have to drive in this country too.
This is what we need our people to understand, especially the truck drivers, that a truck from Zimbabwe will be driven by or operated by a driver from Zimbabwe. It's not necessarily that the trucking companies are necessarily employing foreign nationals. I mean, we are in one country, we are in one continent, and obviously this is about the economy of each and every country. We do export, import and export. So trucks are welcome in South Africa, and a foreign truck will be driven by a foreign national. This is what we want our people to understand, and what we also want to urge the media also to try to educate our people in the country.
Right. Part of what those reports also mentioned, Deputy Commissioner, is that there may be some kind of loose links between what we're seeing unfolding now and what unfolded during the July unrest. In fact, some reports take it a step further and say these are sympathizers of the former president. To what extent are you entertaining that?
No. That one will reject it absolutely, because there's no link. There's no link whatsoever. All we know is that these people are just disgruntled employees. And to an extent, you do have those that are taking chances, like your 30% people who just come and say, we want 30% on each and every bill, or a tender-related type of disgruntlement, where someone was not awarded a particular tender and then they resorted to this type of criminality. But it has got no links to the former president or to any such act of criminality such as the July unrest.
Right. Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us, helping us get clarity around what's being reported and what you are doing as police.